Good afternoon. This is Mayor Ben Walsh sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Bob's taking a few days off. I'm sitting in, happy to be with you all for the next 3 hours. Quick preview of the interviews. We are stacked with interviews for all 3 hours. We are going to start out with my good friend, County Executive Ryan McMahon, followed by Center State CEO President Rob Simpson, Syracuse Police Chief Joe Cecil, actor, comedian, and my cousin, Tom Kenny, otherwise known as the voice of SpongeBob, and many more. 4 o'clock hour, we are going to talk to the principal of the new STEAM school and a new student as well. Then we're going to open up the phone line, so bring it. Then we're going to talk to SU women's basketball coach Leggett Jack and hear about the season coming up and what we can be excited about cheering on SU women's basketball. And we're going to finish up the hour with more open phone lines. So, again, bring it. 5 p.m., Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens is stopping in. We're going to talk to two guys, Chairman Tim O'Donnell of the Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic and our other friend Joe Frischello, who is involved with as well. And then we're going to hear from Common Councilor Rita Paniagua, who is running for Common Council President. So, again, lots of guests coming up. I want to give a shout-out to our producer, Kyla, who's joining me in studio, as well as Anna McGow from our communications team. And also joining me in studio is our first guest, County Executive Ryan McMahon. County Exec, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate being here.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing good. And also, I'm honored to share the microphone with the great Tim O'Donnell.
Yeah, well, he's kind of a big deal, as you know. So let's get into it. You often say that we in this region, in Syracuse, Central New York, Onondaga County, we're in a moment. I think you feel it. I certainly feel it. Hopefully our constituents feel it. How would you describe this moment for our region?
Well, I think overall, right now, we've experienced a period of time where you've had an alignment of leadership, as we've talked about a lot.
Definitely.
And that makes it easier for investment. It makes it easier to do big projects. And it also sends a signal to other partners at federal levels of government, state levels of government, that they want to participate. And so I think we've had a good run with that. Obviously, we have this historic mega project happening right now, and that is driving a tremendous amount of interest from around the globe to look at our community. It's like kind of really interesting. Like, how did Syracuse, New York, Onondaga County, Central New York win this project against these other communities that are brand name communities? And certainly as we move forward, the supply chain companies, the other manufacturing companies, the housing opportunities that will be here, we are going to see billions and billions of dollars of investment, which represents opportunity for people across the board, across the community throughout Central New York.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And, you and I grew up here, as many of our listeners did. We've seen the downtimes. I think we've all certainly earned the good times that are coming. But I think for those of us that have been around for a while, some people are naturally skeptical. The term I like to use is we're economically traumatized. We've gone through some tough times as a community. So, for those that may not be true believers yet, maybe just a quick update on where we are with Micron.
Yeah, so right now we're finishing up the environmental review. That review, which is the driver to get permits to start construction, will be complete in the next few weeks.
Right.
That sets a timeline after a 30-day review period from the federal government, which is also doing a review, to give the decision of record. That decision of record should be essentially ready in the second to third week of December. So we should be breaking ground really that third week of December with schedules permitting for a ceremony. But that really, what that means is that unlocks the first phase of construction, $1 billion essentially, to clear the site, to prepare roads, to get the site ready, to build a rail spur so that they can bring fill into the site and away from the site. But just yesterday, our county IDA had a agenda, and there was a $51.5 billion item for Micron to build two fabs, phase one, a small $50 million item for the rail spur. There's also a $50 million housing project, too, in the town of Camillus, which was cool, but that got overshadowed by certainly the $51.5 billion item. I don't know if an IDA agenda across the country has seen something like that.
That's wild. I know that the projects that we're taking for granted now because the bar has just been raised so much. But one other project I wanted to touch on with the couple minutes we have left is the aquarium. We're sitting here in beautiful Franklin Square overlooking Onondaga Creek, and just a couple blocks down the road, of course, we have the Inner Harbor, which is slowly but surely developing. And to see that crane over the harbor is really cool. And again, for those that might have been skeptical about the project, it is very much underway. Can you give us a quick update on that?
Yeah. Hopefully people are starting to warm to the project. If you drive by it, it looks awesome. It just looks awesome. We think it's going to be a catalyst to help drive more density in the neighborhood. The project will be complete essentially June, July of next year. So we'll be having an opening to the public next summer. But we're ecstatic. The project's going well, on budget. We're raising the private funds necessary to complete the construction of it. We're having a lot of success. And you're going to start seeing more economic partnerships with the aquarium, more research partnerships. And you're going to start seeing it marketing in 2026 as a coming attraction.
That's great. Now, I remember when the cleanup of Onondaga Lake was celebrated, you did a pretty famous or infamous cannonball in Onondaga Lake. Can we expect a repeat at the aquarium? Are you going in the tank, you think?
Listen, I don't know if I'll go I'll go back in the lake.
Okay.
We'll have to see what I might get pushed into one of the shark tanks maybe. Who knows? But the overall, I think we're really excited. I know we've talked about this. I think with all the different opportunities for development in the community, the Inner Harbor is probably the greatest one we have to do something special. Yeah. And so I think overall, the city and the county have worked really closely together. The county has a real moral obligation to that lakefront, and we own a lot of the land around Onondaga Lake, almost all of it. Yeah. So overall, super excited about the project and the future of the Inner Harbor.
Me too. Well, we are up against it, but just want to thank you for all of your great work, certainly on the projects that we talked about, but so much more. We have worked really well together over the past years. Much longer than that, actually, but it's been a pleasure working with you. Thanks for all your efforts in Syracuse and beyond.
Well, thanks, Mary. And you'll hear this again before you're almost done, but you've done a great job and you've been a great partner.
Thanks, my friend.
Thanks. Good to see you, bud.
Okay, we are done with our first guest. We're going to go to break. You are listening to the Bob Lonsberry Show on 570 WSYR. Good afternoon, folks. Ben Walsh here, hosting for Bob Lonsberry, who's taken a few days off. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Had a good conversation with County Executive Ryan McMahon, bringing in another good friend of mine in studio, Rob Simpson, President and CEO of Center State CEO. Rob, thanks for joining us.
Mayor, it's great to be here.
So, Rob, you and I go back a long way. Worked together back in the Metropolitan Development Association. We've seen this region in the city change a lot over the past 20 plus years, but we're not done. In some ways, we're just getting warmed up. There's a lot of exciting projects. We talked to the county executive about some. One that I want to talk about with you is the Inspire Innovation Hub. So most folks are probably familiar with the Syracuse Tech Garden. They may not be familiar yet with the name Inspire Innovation Hub. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, when I moved back here in 2003, one of the big challenges that we had was that we just weren't creating companies as fast as we were losing them, and I think we saw the byproduct of that in our regional economy, losing jobs and losing our competitive position. This entire community rallied around the innovation and entrepreneurship strategy for our economy, and the Tech Garden was born. And at that time, we were planting seeds for new companies, trying to rebuild a part of our economic development strategy that had been left for dead. Here we are 20 years later, and I don't think we're planting seeds anymore. This region's generated $3 billion startups from our ecosystem. We have world-class startup companies that are coming out of Syracuse and Central New York. And at Center State CEO, we felt like our region's entrepreneurs needed and deserved a space that was reflective of the level of vitality and energy that we see coming out of that part of our economy. The Inspire Innovation Hub is actually the largest business incubator and accelerator in New York State, almost 90,000 square feet under roof. Right now, we've got 38 companies that are part of that building on the footprint where the former Tech Garden used to be. We built 2 floors up on top, completely remade the image of the building. And now, right in the heart of our convention center district, between the Hotel Syracuse and our convention center, we have a hub of innovation with hundreds of entrepreneurs and great talent that are operating in that building.
It is a beautiful facility. Congratulations to you and your team for pulling it off. It's just so impressive to see the amount of talent that we have here in the region and how much it's changed just in since we've been around. So really excited about that. You are never one to rest on your laurels. So just when that project was finishing up, you took on another big one in the Governor Hochul's on-ramp program, which is going to be located here in Syracuse, the hub. Can you talk about on-ramp in our closing seconds here?
Yeah, on-ramp is a program that is really designed to help train individuals for the careers that are coming next in Central New York. And you just heard the county executive talk about Micron and all the exciting investments happening in our microelectronics industry. On-ramp very specifically is a facility and set of training programs for people in advanced manufacturing and construction careers. We have both in droves right now in Central New York. And in addition to the programming, working with the trades, working with our academic institutions, working with our workforce development partners, we're going to use the opportunity to redevelop an iconic piece of real estate in Central New York, what most people will know as the former Sears building, 1300 South Salina Street, and take a part of our community and neighborhood fabric that, frankly, I think epitomized disinvestment in one of our most important and historic neighborhoods,
right.
And bring that piece of property back to life and make it something that Syracuse and Central New Yorkers can be proud of again. Yeah,
it's so exciting. You think about between the Inspire Innovation Hub, moving south, we just opened up the new STEAM school. SUNY Educational Opportunity Center is expanding. You, of course, have JMA as you go further south. And to see the Sears building come back to life is going to be special. So thank you for all your great work, Rob. It has been a pleasure working with you. I expect we'll continue to work together in different ways. But Syracuse and Onondaga County in Central New York is lucky to have you. Keep up the great work, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks. Okay, folks, interview number 2 is in the books. We are going to be right back. Again, thank you for joining us. This is the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon. It is, in fact, not Bob Lonsberry. It's Mayor Ben Walsh sitting in for Bob Lonsberry, who's taken a few well-deserved days off. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. So we're keeping the guests rolling, and I have in a guest that I had the last time I was on the show, and I suspect, at least in our current roles, this will be the last time we'll get to do this. I have our Syracuse Police Chief, Joe Cecil. Welcome, Chief. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Mayor.
You got it. So before we talk about what's next, as we always do, we start with the data and the numbers, and we certainly hear about it when the numbers are bad. The numbers are looking pretty good. I just pulled up the weekly CompStat report, which anyone can download on our website. Just looking at some highlights. Overall, Part 1 crime down 26.4%. Property crimes down 27.4%. Violent crime down 21.2%. Homicides down 40%. Stolen vehicles down 45.5%. So literally every category is down. I know we are not ones to celebrate because we got a lot of challenges ahead of us, but why don't let's talk about what has contributed to the numbers heading in this positive direction.
Yeah, it's just good police work. We have officers out there, we have the 10-hour schedule now, and so they're out there for longer periods of time, overlapping. Sometimes we have power days where numerous officers are on the shift, and it just helps to get them out of the cars. They're getting out of the cars and interacting. Of course, our homicide squad and other detectives are great at what they do. And you're right, the numbers are all down. One number that a lot of people don't look at is 15% down in the number of victims shot or killed,
right.
Injured or killed. And that's a large number for us because it's not just a number, it's attached to people.
Right.
And that's down as well.
Yeah, it's great. And appreciate you giving a credit where it's due, as you always do, to our officers who just never cease to amaze me with both their talent and skill, whether it's solving crimes or making arrests, their bravery. We just have... we're so blessed to have such an amazing police department. And, you mentioned it. I don't think people fully understand and appreciate how significant that the shift change is and how we deploy our resources. We know that, post-2020, departments across the country have struggled to attract and retain police officers. We've certainly done our part, right? 12 police classes in the past 8 years, but numbers are down despite our best efforts. And between the shift change and again just really dedicated officers, we're making good strides. So we'll hope that continues.
Yeah.
So looking forward, as I mentioned, this is my last couple months as mayor. It's your last couple months as chief. Maybe before we talk about what's next, any career highlights? You've been at this now for what, over 40 years?
Yeah.
Some maybe highlights and lowlights. What are the things that stick out as you look over those 40 years and reflect on your time serving the city?
Well, so the lowlights is clear. It's Jensen and Husak.
Yeah.
The death of those two heroes
Yeah.
is clearly the lowlight in my career, but something a chief never wants to experience,
Right.
Or the families either. But the highlights are just technology moving forward and young officers embracing it and using this technology, whether it's cops cameras, body cams, drones, all types of technology, using them to solve crimes. And that's one of the reasons we're doing so well also is because everyone's embraced technology, and technology is here to stay. I mean,
Right.
we're moving forward now with a first responder drone program that's going to go out there and take a look at the situation before the officers even arrive. And it's just, those are the highlights, I think, is what you're going to see in the future is just, it's just going to keep increasing. Technology is going to keep taking over. It will never replace the cop on the street.
Right.
But it's going to help us do our job.
As you say, it's a force multiplier. And to your credit, it starts at the top, and you have embraced technology, certainly during your time as chief, but as first deputy chief and deputy chief as well. I mean, I was around back in the previous administration when we first introduced cops cameras in the neighborhoods, and a lot of people freaked out about Big Brother. And again, not to take it lightly, surveillance is a legitimate concern. But you look at how people reacted to it then versus now, and literally every neighborhood and every business district wants a cops camera. It's finding that right balance between embracing technology, but doing it in a responsible way. And I think you and your team at SPD have done just that. So well done. With that said, last couple months, any plans real quick as we close out here for what happens after January 1?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to buy a giant 28, 30-foot RV, and we're going to travel around the country with our 4 200-pound English Mastiffs in the back. And I know you have a large dog, Mayor. You're welcome to come, but some of your family might have to ride on top.
Yeah. No, maybe just me and Ollie. Ollie is only 130 pounds, so you might be a little intimidated. But that sounds great. You have certainly earned it, and it is well-deserved. So, Chief, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, and look forward to serving out the next couple months with you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mayor.
All right. Thanks again. So with that, we will go to break. You are listening to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon, everyone. Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Well, rookie mistake by me. We are running behind, so unfortunately, I only have a couple minutes with my friend, my cousin, and Syracuse's own Tom Kenny, who's joining us on the phone from Los Angeles, presumably. Tom, how are you?
Hey, His Honor the Mayor, how are you? Yes, it is Los Angeles, Studio City to be more specific. How are you? Yeah, I've played a mayor too, the mayor of Townsville on the Powerpuff Girls. Yay!
I do remember the girls watched that, and they thought it was pretty cool that their cousin Tom was the voice of so many characters. Of course, everybody knows SpongeBob, but there's a lot that people don't know. I think one of the things that people here in Syracuse would like to know, having grown up here, went to Bishop Grimes High School, how did you get into this crazy business that you're in?
Yeah, well, Syracuse was a great place to grow up. I had a great family, and kind of our families merged when my cousin married your dad all those many years ago. And yes, Syracuse was an amazing place to kind of bake in the oven. I was always interested in comedy and performing, and definitely always wanted to be a voiceover guy. And my high school or grade school friend, Bobcat Goldthwait, and I had a mutual interest in that stuff. And right when we started high school, which was 1976, this brand new show called Saturday Night Live hit the airwaves, another show called SCTV that we liked even better than SNL. And punk rock was happening, too. The Sex Pistols, the Ramones, Andy Kaufman was doing his groundbreaking, weird stand-up stuff, and Steve Martin was king. And we were just – it just excited us so much, all of that, the combination of all of that we wanted to do all of it. And since there was no real established scene in Syracuse, that turned out to be fortunate for us because we were able to just go and make stuff happen. We took, we started a night at the Lost Horizon where we did sketch comedy as a group called the Generic Comics, and one thing led to another. And my family are all still in the area, all my siblings, and I go back to Syracuse at least 2-3 times a year.
Very cool. Well, we love it when you come visit, and hopefully you will again soon. Again, you've done a lot, but you're still working. You got a lot on your plate. Just as we close out here, can you give folks any updates on what's keeping you busy? Where we might be able to find you?
Oh, wow. Well, let's see. I'm doing a few hours of SpongeBob directing because I'm also the voice director on the show in about an hour. But very excited. There's a SpongeBob feature film, SpongeBob 4, The Search for SquarePants, and that is opening in theaters on December 19th, also known as my wife Jill's birthday, who plays Karen the computer on the show. So December 19th, that's in theaters. But this Sunday, it's having its world premiere at AFI Fest, American Film Institute Fest, here in Los Angeles. So there's going to be a big red carpet screening, and myself and my co-star Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and
awesome.
Bill Fagerbaki, who plays Patrick Starr, are all going to be there hanging out and having a great time. And then let's see, Rick and Morty's still going on, and Adventure Time, where I play the Ice King, is still a going concern as well. So lots to do. I like being busy.
Yeah, and don't forget about Tom Kenny and the High Seas, your amazing band that I got to see perform down in Homer. But
Thank you. Yes, Tom Kenny and the High Seas. We are playing all over the place. We're doing November 22nd. We are at the Whiskey A Go Go here in Los Angeles, and on New Year's Eve we are at the Roxy here in Los Angeles.
Awesome.
So if you're in this area, come on out and see us. But I hope to play in Syracuse again real soon, Ben.
Would love to have you. Well, again, listen, wish we had more time, but you mentioned Jill. Please give her my love, and again, come back and see us soon. We're so proud of you out there, Tom, and wish you the best of luck. Thanks for calling in.
I'm proud of you. I know you love our hometown, and you've done a great job, and best to your wonderful, fabulous family.
Thanks so much, Tom. Take care. All right, folks, this is Ben Walsh, Mayor of the City of Syracuse, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry on News Radio 570 WSYR. We'll be back. Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. We have a few guests here joining us in studio. We have the principal of the new STEAM High School in downtown Syracuse, Principal Dan Straub. We have a student of the new STEAM High School, freshman Logan Capers, and Logan's dad Artrell is in the studio as well. So I want to welcome you guys here. And, as I look back on the past 8 years, the STEAM school is something that I'm so incredibly proud of, and we were able to cut the ribbon on it, almost 2 months ago now. So, Principal Straub, let's start with you. How's the experience been? You were coming from Corcoran. That's when I first met you. You did a great job there. Brand new school, freshman class. How's it going?
It's been unbelievable. First, I want to thank you, Mayor Walsh, for the support that you provided with the city here. Superintendent Davis, it's been an unbelievable whirlwind, I guess, since I've been on a year and a half now. Dr. Manning has been a huge part of this. OCM BOCES working together, the county, executive, Ryan McMahon. The collaboration to bring this building back to life, the physical building, has been unbelievable. It's absolutely stunning in there. 1903, the building opened. And 122 years later, for our kids, the first day of classes is to walk by Minerva. That was there 122 years ago.
Yeah.
We got that from Ed O'Reilly at the Hotel Syracuse. Thank you, Ed, for that. But the history, bringing that history back into present day and into the future, it is something that the community was craving. We've met so many people that went to Central High School or Central Tech, and it was kind of a lost high school, and they said, we want to be recognized. We want to bring that back.
Yeah.
So we've done that, and we went through the interviews and the applications last year, and we have met so many amazing kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable, talented kids, and the pathways that we're offering, and the fine arts, performing arts, and to actually see it. We had this vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank the staff and the students and the families, because it's really a leap of faith.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't see it.
Right.
There was nothing tangible.
Yeah.
And the leap of faith to see it now in action,
Right.
it blows me away.
Right.
It absolutely blows me away of what happened and what day to day these students and families and staff are experiencing. The amount of industry collaborators we have
Right.
involved with us, and the amount of us going out to the site and people coming in, professionals are coming in.
Right.
Just the opportunities that we're actually seeing playing out, and it's still building. It's still building, and it's been unbelievable. It's really been an unbelievable 2 months.
Yeah, well, you guys are pioneers in your own right. You mentioned some of the programs. So these, the school offers a number of career and technical education programs. You brought a pamphlet in. I'm just going to read through them. Animation and game design, business entrepreneurship, construction management, data analytics, entertainment engineering, performing arts, robotics automation, and of course, semiconductor manufacturing technology and the visual arts. So when you think about the industries that are driving the new economy, so many of them are represented in these programs. The first one I mentioned, animation and game design. Logan, that's your CTE program. So would love to hear about what drew you to the STEAM school, to that program, and what your experience has been like over the first couple months.
Yeah, so STEAM has been like genuinely a blessing for me. I love being able to meet new people and be in like such a boiling pot of opportunity.
Yeah.
What drew me to animation and game design in particular was when I grew up, I watched all these videos on YouTube of like these cool animations and stuff. And when I went to like the expo for all the things, I saw this and I was like, this is a gateway to achieving my dream that I've had for so long, And like Schraub said, it really was a leap of faith because, like, even now, I've never done a single animation in my life, but I've never been more passionate to do so. And there's nobody else I can thank other than the school and the great environment I've had around me. But animation and game design, I'm very, very excited for it. I've been wanting to do stuff like this since I've been young, and I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah, that's great. I'll tell you, you're a lot farther along than I was when I was a freshman in high school. You're an impressive young man. One of the interesting things about the STEAM school, in addition to the programming, is the fact that it's the only school, I think, in New York State where we're bringing together city school kids as well as suburban school kids. So it's run by the Syracuse City School District, but suburban kids can apply through BOCES and attend the STEAM school. What's that been like, meeting kids from all around the county? And you think it was a good idea?
Well, at Huntington, I've met a lot of people from like multiple different like households and whatnot, right?
That was where you went to school last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can understand the sense of fear that some might have when you have kids from, I guess, say schools that aren't really have as good of a reputation. Right? But when from their point of view, they see this as not just an escape, but an opportunity to express themselves and express their lives.
Right.
And given every school and every district, the teachers try so hard to bring the kids to work. And if these kids genuinely work hard and see a future in themselves, they'll be right where they want to be,
Right.
And there are some kids, right? I guess you could call them city kids, whatever you want to call them. And they're getting along, they're getting their work done, and they're having a great time. And I could see them genuinely doing amazing things,
Right.
Like just because you're from a certain background doesn't mean STEAM isn't a place of like ingenuity and all those great things.
Amen. That's awesome. Thank you, Logan. So I think we might be breaking some news here, but I asked before we got on air about the mascot. So new school, knew a lot of things, including a mascot. So Logan, I want to let you break the news. It sounds like there was a competition. The votes have been tallied, and the STEAM school has a new mascot. Can you tell us what it is?
Yep, Steam Storm. We did a
Steam
vote,
Storm.
and we got the Steam Storm going on now. So
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's great. Well, it's cool. My daughter's over at Nottingham, and she plays sports, and I know, and to hear about the STEAM kids already getting involved in the different athletic teams, I think is really cool. And once we see students running out in their new Steam Storm uniforms, that's going to be another surreal moment. So, fellas, listen, I wish we could talk all afternoon Principal Straub, great job. Really appreciate you stepping up and taking this on. And Logan, you are an impressive young man. You
Thank
are
you so
going
much. I
far.
appreciate it. Thank you.
And Dad back there, well done, sir. Keep up the great work. Thank you guys so much for joining us. With that, we are going to go back to break and be back soon. Welcome again to the Bob Lonsberry Show, News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Well, I'm going to take a breather here. We ran through the first hour and more with some amazing guests. It was great to catch up with the county executive, who's just been an amazing partner over the past 8 years. As many of you know, we go all the way back. So I grew up on Robino Road in Strathmore. He was on Wellesley, just a street over, and it's been fun to watch his career advance and for us to converge at this really critical moment in the community. But he's been a good partner, and we haven't always agreed on everything, but we work through it and we work together, and I think have produced good results. We all are better off, I think, when our leaders are working together. And of course, having Rob Simpson on. A great friend, and not as high profile as some of our elected officials, but has just been doing incredible work here in the region for a long time. Great having Chief Cecil on, of course, my cousin Tom Kenny, aka the voice of SpongeBob. In that last segment with Principal Straub and Logan from the STEAM school, I think they really gave us a good sense of what all the special things that are happening at that STEAM school. It is really a unique asset, and we're lucky to have it. And I think it's just going to grow in interest and popularity. And again, really, really proud of it. Coming up, just to give you a heads up going into the next break, next guest is going to be Syracuse women's basketball coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. We're going to talk about the upcoming season, Syracuse's own Felicia Leggett-Jack. And then I am going to open up for phones. So I mentioned at the beginning of the program, bring it. In all seriousness, would love to hear from you. Nothing's off the table. You want to give me a hard ball, again, bring it. Or if you just want, have a question, happy to take whatever is on your mind. And when you do, you can just call 315-421-9797. That's 421-9797. So that'll be in about, 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll have those phone lines open. So in the meantime, we are going to take one more break and then, a few more breaks, but one next break for now, and we'll be back with Syracuse women's basketball coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. Again, this is the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. I am so excited about our next guest. I could spend the next couple minutes reading off all of her accomplishments. I think first and foremost, I should note that she is an absolute legend from her days playing basketball at Nottingham High School. Go Bulldogs. She more recently was the 2024 ACC Coach of the Year. She is the Syracuse University women's basketball coach. She is Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. Welcome, Coach.
Oh, thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am on the home stretch of my time as mayor, finishing up the last couple months and having fun with it.
No, we're going to you still going to be the mayor to us.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around. And, one of the many reasons I want to stick around is because I'm so excited about the women's basketball program. I think my first interaction with you was when you were still coaching at Buffalo, and I think we were all hoping that you would make your way here, and sure enough, you did, and you've done it really well. Just tell me, before we talk about this upcoming season, tell me what it's like, being the head women's basketball coach in your hometown.
It's pure joy. It's something as a kid you see all the things that goes on in your community, and you're playing hopscotch, and you're hanging out at Dr. King Elementary School. Then you go to Levy, and you say, maybe if I can be in charge, I'll do this, I'll try that, and then you get an opportunity, just like you grow up and you are the reason why things change. And I dreamt about it, I prayed over it, and you never thought it was going to happen. Then all of a sudden you work your way into the position that there's a chance, and then you get this opportunity. And just like you, we didn't take it for granted. We both feed in, and we love it here, and we want to see it become even bigger and better. And we're hoping there's young people dreaming like we did when we were kids to make it even better.
That's right. Yeah, and I just think about all the little girls growing up here in Syracuse and seeing you and hearing your story. I think it's really an inspiration. That said, being in your hometown, how large Syracuse athletics looms in the city of Syracuse. I always say that as mayor, there's no speech I can give or no big decision I can make that gets this town as excited and as high as when our teams are winning up on the hill. I'd imagine you feel that pressure too, but just talk about kind of balancing the pressure and the excitement and how that how you manage that as a leader and as a human being.
Well, like I said, we go back to when we were kids, and all we did was win,
Right.
and we watched TV and the Louie and Bowie show and the success that they had. And you see McPherson, our football coach, and they went bowl after bowl, and Pasqualoni came and did the same thing. And, Dino Babers did well as well. And now we were here right now, and as a head coach for the women's team, you root for our programs. I'm rooting for our volleyball team to beat Boston College at 5 p.m.
Right.
Because this is all we have, right?
Yeah.
And so we owe it to this community because, it's a great kind of city. It's a rainy kind of day today, and it gets that way a lot. And what the community holds on is the success of the Orange, and I get it. And it's a lot of pressure for sure, but, the community deserves a winner, and we have to work and make this happen for our city. And I respect our people in the grocery store or wherever I'm hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
You should have done better, and you're right. We got to win here. Winning is the answer, and that's what we're here to do. And anything short of that, we all feel that pain.
No doubt. Yeah, well, I can certainly relate to getting hit up in the grocery store with constructive criticism and sometimes not so constructive.
My sister found you in the elevator one time. I'm like, Jan, is that his private time?
Yeah. So let's talk about the team. November 4th. In my business, it's a big day because it's election day. It also happens to be, if my notes are correct, your first regular season game against Stony Brook at 7 p.m. How are you feeling about the team? What should we be looking for as you start the season?
Cautiously optimistic.
Cool.
We're working hard. We've been going since June, just trying to get to know each other. Our new 8 players and our 3 or 4 new coaches, and we pulled together, and now we're a family, and we feel good in our skin. It's just time to kind of find out what this work was all about.
Right.
So we'll have a Tuesday exhibition versus Damon this upcoming Tuesday, and I think the 28th. Then that revs us up to Stony Brook, who's a really big-time mid-major program. And so it's just time to find out. And
Right.
You're going to enjoy. One thing about this team that's different from last year, they got great personalities. They, I can jump on them hard. And no matter how loud or soft I am, they're like, what's the message? How do I get better?
Right.
Their IQ is very high in the game. And so it's exciting to be able to coach this gang, and I hope that you get a chance to see them.
Yeah, no, I definitely plan on coming up. My 2 daughters, I'll bring them up along with me. You'll be happy to know my oldest daughter is a sophomore at Nottingham. She's actually she's playing the Syracuse United varsity soccer team has their first playoff game tonight over in Rome, so we're going to be rooting for them. But definitely going to get the girls up for a game, and my wife Lindsay, and again we're rooting for you. So
girl dad, I love it.
So do I. And again, I think you are an inspiration for all the young women in our community. So, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Again, we are all rooting for you, and I'm going to say it for you. Everyone, City of Syracuse, Onondaga County, Central New York, get up to campus. Go root on our Syracuse women's basketball team. Go root on Coach Leggett Jack. We are lucky to have you here, and wish the very best for you. Thanks for joining us.
And I got to say this before you hang up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for all you're doing. What this city has become because of you and what your dad has done, I've been a witness. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Coach. All right, take care. Good luck.
Bye. God bless.
All right, that was Coach Leggett Jack. Thrilled to have her on the program. Got a number of guests coming up, so we're going to go back to break. You are listening to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR.
Buyer Volvo, the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR at 106.9 FM.
Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. We are coming up on the end of the second hour. Man, time flies when you're a mediocre guest radio host. I am having fun, though, for what that's worth. I hope you all are enjoying it, too. This opportunity to host is fun for me just because I get to bring in some amazing people that are a part of my life that make serving the city of Syracuse so fun and gratifying. And I'm happy to introduce some of you all to some of these amazing folks. Speaking of amazing folks, I just want to mention that in the final last hour, we're going to bring my friend and colleague, Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens on, also Cam Owens. And then talk to my two of my best friends, Tim O'Donnell and Joe Frischello, about the Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic. And then we're going to close out with County Councilor Rita Paniagua. So great guests to come. We will be back. Thanks for joining us on News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here, sitting in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. We are in the final hour. Again, it flies by. I'm having a good time. I hope you all are too. Hopefully you're on your way home from work, starting the weekend. A little rainy, a little dreary, but 'tis the season. So again, hope everybody's traveling safe and going to have a good time. So I am going to welcome my next guest. I mentioned her formal title is Deputy Mayor. She also happens to be my friend, also happens to be a candidate to succeed me in office as mayor of the city of Syracuse. Sharon Owens, welcome, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, we have done this before. So you are in the home stretch of the campaign. And we intentionally did this after 5 o'clock, so there wasn't any uncertainty about what hat you were wearing. You are a candidate, and it's and one thing I want to say is, you are one of the most honest people that I've ever worked with in my life. It pains me to hear some people question your integrity. It's part of the game, you know that. But you have been to a point of probably paranoia, very careful about being clear when you're serving in your official capacity versus political, but you've done it well, and I appreciate it. But I'm really forget about deputy mayor, forget about candidate. I want to know how Sharon's doing.
Sharon is drinking coffee and just holding on to the end stretch. I remember watching you during your campaign, and you look at it from the outside, but to be on the inside and be in the body of the candidate is definitely different. It is taxing. We launched September 30th of 2024, so it has been a full year.
Yeah,
a full year.
Yeah, it's exhausting, and it is. As you know, I don't watch the debates. Number one, because I can't be there to defend myself, because occasionally, sometimes your opponents think they're running against me, or all the time. Yeah, I get plenty of text updates, but just where you are right now. Talk about why people are probably hearing it and thinking, why would you put yourself through that? And I certainly asked myself that at times. But tell us about your why. Why are you willing to put yourself out there in this very public, vulnerable way to do this job where you're going to have to continue to deal with a lot of people questioning you?
Absolutely. The simple why is I just love this city.
Yeah.
The city adopted me after I graduated from Syracuse University. I hit the ground running in neighborhoods and kitchens and kitchens and living rooms and just meeting the people of the city. And so that's the absolute why. I probably talked myself in and out of this for about 18 months. And
I remember.
Yeah. You were in a couple of rooms with me, and I don't know about this, but ultimately, I'm a woman of faith. I talk to God. I talk to my husband. I know the impact on family.
Huge. Yeah.
Ultimately, we're always our mother's children. So that was the last person I got advice from, was from my mom.
Yeah.
And she said, if you don't step out and try this, you'll never forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And so here I am.
Yeah. Mom has spoken. But, you mentioned the family, and we don't need to belabor it, but I don't think people fully understand and appreciate what it's like for the family members to go through it, especially for the first time. I remember when I started to get into my career, obviously I grew up with my dad in politics, and you would think that it would get easier as you get older. In some ways, it gets harder, because, especially when you're involved. And so, I don't take it lightly what your husband and your daughter and your son have gone through during this, especially because while you have been in this world for a long time in the community doing community work, you haven't been in politics.
At all.
This is all very new to you and your
Very new to
family.
me. I mean, starting with no one telling me about petitioning in February.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's a fairly new phenomenon. I'm not sure if it's a good one, but
Right.
but you got it done, and like you said, as hard as it is on you and your family, it's those very same people that lift you up and hold you up.
I mean, my family, this kind of always on call life has been my life since my daughter was probably in kindergarten.
Right.
Not-for-profit work, there's no clock to it. It's
Right.
when the need happens, you get up, and she's watched me her entire life get up and lead them and put a coat on and go take care of someone. And it's interesting, I remember your first swearing in, your girls had to tippy-toe to the Bible, right?
Right.
And they're like almost grown women now,
my God, yeah.
and when we think about our family, my children are adults, and my husband, he's kind of like it brushes off his shoulder, but my daughter is very protective of me, so I'm always, trying to temperature check for her and say, you can't let it bother you. I got off Facebook about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It was
I
probably
remember
the
that.
best decision I've ever made.
I remember. I agree. Yeah, for you, it's your daughter. For me, it's my sister Maureen. She is my biggest protector. Although I've given her strict guidance not to watch any of the debates this year, and thankfully she's taken me up on that. So, although my mom caught one, which I think I mentioned to you, that was unfortunate. But anyways, that's okay. We're not our first rodeo.
No.
So we talked about family. I just want to talk about your work family a little bit. Obviously, we've been working together for a long time, but we had one of our colleagues, Chief Joe Cecil, in earlier in studio. He's on his way out as well. For those that don't know, as part of your role as deputy mayor, you oversee the police department.
Yes.
I know we've both learned a lot over the past 8 years going through that process. Can you just reflect for a minute on on Chief specifically, but also SPT generally, as you've tried to guide and support that department for the past 8 years?
I mean, this statement applies to both Chief Cecil, who has earned every bit of relaxation he's about to have, and his department, the police department. I have grown, I believe, with the department in an ever-changing world. We went through 2020 together with after the murder of George Floyd, and just the social unrest that happened with there. And I was really proud of Syracuse. Syracuse, unlike Rochester, unlike Buffalo, we didn't burn. We might have had one night of real civil unrest, but other than that, and it was the approach of the police department with those who were trying to express their First Amendment rights.
Right.
And Joe Cecil has been then and now just the consummate leader, available for the flexibility, even as we went post-COVID, and now we're in this whole new age of homelessness, the level of homelessness and despair of people, and their ability to adjust their approach to caring for people like that, while still being the best department when it comes to investigations.
Yeah, no, I think the way in which you supported the department, especially during that difficult time in 2020. It was either there were people on the defund the police side, which was crazy. And people on the back the blue. And the reality is, I think, again, thanks in large part to your leadership, we were able to navigate that process, make sure where there were opportunities to make investments or improvements.
Absolutely.
We did that hand in hand with the department. We never defunded the department. We've supported them. We've graduated now, or at least sworn in, graduated 11 classes, sworn in 12 at a time when it's really hard, to recruit police officers. But again, I think you've done a great job in that role. You've done a great job in your current role, and that I believe you're going to do a great job as mayor. So hang in there.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
And get some rest on November 5th. But keep up the great work in the meantime.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for coming on. All right, we're going to go to break. You are listening to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR.
Alan Beyer Volvo, the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Joining me in studio now, two of my very best friends in the world, two of the best-looking guys that I know, Tim O'Donnell, Joe Frischello, to talk about something that we are all passionate about, the Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
So, for those that aren't familiar with the Syracuse Pond Hockey Classic, Tim, or Mr. Chairman, as I like to call you in your pond hockey capacity, talk about the history of the Pond Hockey Classic, how it came about.
I will, but first I'd like to say, in all your years as mayor, it's the first time I've heard you lie, because we've got two faces for radio sitting next to you here.
Well, then you're in your element. Let's go.
Appreciate you having us on. The Pond Hockey Classic started back in 2019, but its origin comes from many years before that. I live in the Strathmore neighborhood, love Upper Onondaga Park on Hiawatha Lake, and had driven by that lake many, many times over the cold winters with it being empty. And having grown up as a hockey player, always kind of envisioned some activity on that lake. And after many years of talking about it, I was encouraged by others either stop talking about it or do something about it. So I decided to surround myself with some good friends and people I can rely upon, two of which are right here with me, to get this thing started. So we're going into our 6th year, and we're super excited about it.
Great. So we'll talk about the upcoming tournament this year, which is in Clinton Square. We started, as you said, in Upper Onondaga Park on Hiawatha Lake. Joe, I remember seeing you on some very cold nights with a hose spraying down the water, literally ice on your hat and face and coat. Talk about some of those early days of trying to prep the ice for the tournament.
Yeah, the early days were, looking back, they were fun, but at the time it was not fun. We'd all have our, regular jobs, and then at, 5:30, 6 o'clock, we're out there spraying till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, trying to get that ice thick, making sure it's okay for the tournament, for the players, make sure it's safe, and, certainly group effort, but, unraveling those fire hoses was easy, but wrapping them back up when they're frozen at night and dragging them up the hill was very tough. But
that was usually about the time I had to go home.
I was going to say, it was pretty remarkable that you're able to take off right by the time we were
right.
going to roll those up. But no, it was totally worth it. And looking back, never forget those memories. They were good times.
Yeah, they were. And, again, I know we all have mixed feelings about not keeping it at Hiawatha Lake. I just want to give you guys a shout out for your sponsorship of our recent family fishing festival over at Hiawatha Lake, continuing to invest in supporting the park and the neighborhood. But ultimately, that just wasn't sustainable between the weather and the manpower. So we ended up in Clinton Square. It's been great. Shout out to Syracuse Parks, Syracuse Fire, SPD for their support of us hosting it there. And as we close up here, Tim, can you just give everybody an update on when the tournament is, and for those that might be interested in participating, how they might be able to get a team going?
Yeah, we're super excited. January 24th, it's a Saturday from typically around 10 a.m. through 7 o'clock is usually when the championship game goes off. But come on down. It's a great time. We got a bunch of food, cocktails, stuff for the kids to do to keep their attention. But we'll be announcing registration likely around Thanksgiving time on our Facebook page. So come on down and we'll see you there.
Awesome. Fellas, thank you. Thank you for being great friends. Thank you for all that you do for the community, and look forward to the upcoming Pond Hockey Classic.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to break. You are listening to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. Good afternoon. Mayor Ben Walsh here. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. I'm sitting in for Bob. We are coming towards the end of the program, but we have one more guest before we close out. It is my friend and fellow colleague at City Hall, Common Councilor Rita Paniagua. Welcome, Councilor.
Thank you for having me. Welcome. Thank you.
So just for those that may not know you, you've been in public service for a while now. We've been working together for many years. But how did you end up on the Common Council? So just tell us a little bit about your path.
So when I first came to Syracuse, that was about, 23 years ago.
Okay.
I started working with the Spanish Action League,
right,
which gave me the opportunity to learn about community needs, assess them, find funding, implement programs to service the community.
Yeah.
So that became the path, right? So during that time, I also ran for Commissioner of Education, which I served 4 years at the Commissioner of Education.
How soon I forget? Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then right after those 4 years, I ran for City Councilor at large,
Right.
which I won my first term. Then I won a second term.
Right.
I'm on the second year of that term.
Right.
And hoping to be the president of the council come November.
Right, and you're being conscientious because it's not election day yet. You are running unopposed, so I think we can
Yes, I am.
expect that to be the case. But so before we talk about what that looks like as council president, you talked about your time at Spanish Action League, which was probably when I first met you, and you were really beloved in the community, and then on to the school district. Obviously, you're passionate about young people. It's clear in the work that you do. But can you talk about, since you've been on the council, any particular areas where you've focused on or you've prioritized in recent years?
Absolutely. One of the things that I do through council and actually in my job in the community, it's around economic development small businesses,
Right.
mostly for the minorities.
Right.
I do have a company called Cross Cultural Strategies, through which I help build them and work with the non-for-profits to assess also those community needs. And since I have the experience, I help them, do good programming so they can flourish, get good funding, and help them out with that way.
That's great. You do it well. Thank you for inviting me to all the ribbon cuttings of all
Yes.
the small businesses that you help. But again, the way you support young people is the way you support small businesses. The arts too. You have a bit of an arts background.
I am an art proponent. I think the art. I in my background, I used to be a prima ballerina.
I know this.
For a company in Virginia.
Yeah.
And so, that was many, many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get on a pair of pointe shoes at this point ever for anything. But but yes, it's in my blood. It's in my background. And this is something that I am very passionate about.
It's great. So again, election day coming up, running unopposed, likely going to be the next Common Council president. You will be the next Common Council president, a position that my dad held way back when.
Oh,
you think about
really?
some of the people that have been in that seat over the years. Of course, the late Van Robinson, someone who we all loved. Council President Helen Hudson there now. I could keep going. B. Gonzalez, some real giants in local politics. Tell me about what your priorities are going into that job.
So I think one of the first things I really want to do is we have committees that the city council sits in with the departments of City Hall and shares these committees.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to review these committees and actually update them.
Yeah, it's been a while, I think.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's 1960s.
Wow, yeah.
And then I looked it up.
Cool.
And I think we're in definite need of an IT committee so that we can canalize things, through one channel rather than all
Right.
spread out. So that's one thing I want to do. Definitely we need to make better the communication between the mayor's office.
I agree.
and the council.
Yeah.
I think, we all play for the same
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
So we need to make sure that is always the perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's not there.
Yeah, no, it was something that I felt like we started strong on, but different things, politics, other things sometimes interfere. But I think you going into your position, hopefully Deputy Mayor Owens going into her position as mayor, I think the city is really poised to have great, strong leaders and alignment in leadership. And I'm really excited to see what you accomplish in your new position. So Rita, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck to you and look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you. Me too.
We are going to our final break. This is the Bob Lonsberry Show. Hey, Ben Walsh here, filling in for Bob Lonsberry. Welcome to the Bob Lonsberry Show on News Radio 570 WSYR. We are coming to the end of the program. Just want to send out some thank yous. First to Bob for allowing me to fill in for him. This is the third time I've done it. It's always a blast. And so thanks, Bob, for having me. I want to thank our producer, Kyla, second time with Kyla, and thank you, Kyla, for helping me out along the way. Same to Anna McGow, my colleague on the comms team, who has spent some time here behind the desk at News Radio 570 as well. Great team effort here today. Also want to thank my guests, County Executive McMahon, Rob Simpson from Center State CEO, Chief Cecil, Tom Kenny. Really loved having Principal Straub and Logan Capers from the STEAM School. So thrilled that Coach Leggett Jack was able to join us, representing the Syracuse women's basketball team. And, of course, my friend, Deputy Mayor Owens, my two good friends, Tim O'Donnell, Joe Frischello. That was a lot of fun doing that with guys that I've known for most of my life. And finishing out with Rita Paniagua. our future Common Council president. Really great people doing great things in this community. Finally, I want to thank you, Syracuse and Central New York. It has been an honor to serve you for the past 8 years. I'm sure you didn't always agree with my decisions, but hopefully you knew. And if you didn't, please know that every decision that I made, I did with the best interest of the people of the city of Syracuse and Central New York at heart. And using a sports analogy, I left it all out on the field. I'm going to sprint through the finish line using another one for the next couple months. Still a lot of work to be done, but when I look back, and I haven't taken too much time to do that, I'm just so proud of what we've accomplished together. Again, you heard us talk early in the show about the moment that Syracuse is in, and I truly believe we're in this moment because we have an alignment of leadership, people pushing in the same direction, working together, and because we have amazing people doing amazing things in this community. I could not be more bullish and optimistic about the future of this community. And God knows we've been through tough times, but things are looking up. I think we've turned the corner. And when I think about some of the projects we highlighted today, the STEAM School, the Inspire Innovation Hub, when I think about all the housing that we've developed in recent years and that's in the pipeline to come, when I think about the way in which our community has supported our first responders, the police officers, firefighters, and other first responders, and when I think about all the little things that we've tried to do to improve people's quality of life, from investing in our parks, our new trash system, our street lights, all the paved roads that we did, the new municipal sidewalk program, the investments in our water system. Again, we have gone to great lengths to serve the people of the city of Syracuse because that's what we were elected to do, and it, again, has been my honor. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you all in the next couple months as I finish out my term. God bless, everyone.